The navy dress was heavier than I remembered. I held it up to the window light, checking for moth holes or loose threads, anything that would make me look careless. The fabric was stiff. Clean but stiff. It still smelled faintly like the funeral home where my sister's service was held. That strange mix of flowers and carpet cleaner, and something else I could never name. I had not worn it since 7 years, maybe 8. The hanger creaked when I lifted it. Marcus had called 3 weeks ago. He said he made a reservation for Mother's Day. The nice place downtown, the one with the white tablecloths and the sommelier who wears a suit. He said the name twice. I remember that. People only say things twice when they want you to understand it matters. But he did not say who the reservation was for. I did not notice that until later. I put the dress on and it still fit, which surprised me. My hands shook a little getting the zipper up. Not from nerves exactly. Just from something. The fabric pulled tight across my shoulders and I wondered if I should have ironed it first. But it was already 4 o'clock and Marcus said he would pick me up at 6, so there was no time now. I smoothed it down with my palms and looked at myself in the mirror, and thought I looked fine. Presentable. Like someone's mother going to dinner with her son. The doorbell rang at 4:15. I was not expecting anyone. My first thought was that Marcus had come early, which made no sense because Marcus is never early for anything. My second thought was something is wrong. I do not know why I thought that. Just a feeling. The kind you get when the phone rings at 2 in the morning. That split second before you answer when you know it is going to be bad news. I opened the door. Nicole's mother was standing on my porch in an emerald green gown. Not a dress. A gown. Floor length. Beaded across the chest. Her hair was swept up in some complicated twist that must have taken an hour at least. She was holding a small clutch purse, the expensive kind. And she was smiling at me with her teeth showing but her eyes flat. She said, "I am ready for our dinner." I stood there. I did not understand what she meant by our dinner. I did not understand why she was at my house. I did not understand why she looked like she was going to the opera. My mouth opened but nothing came out. My hand was still on the doorknob. I could feel the metal warm under my palm. Then I heard footsteps on the walkway. Marcus came up behind her wearing his good suit. The charcoal one with the thin pinstripes. The one he keeps for client presentations. His tie was burgundy. I noticed that. I do not know why I noticed that. He looked at me. Then at her. Then back at me. Something in his face shifted. Just a small thing. A tightening at the corners of his mouth. Almost a smile but not quite. He said, "Mom, you thought it was for you." He said it quietly. Gently. The way you tell a child they have gotten confused about something simple. He did not ask it as a question. He stated it as a fact. As something obvious I should have already known. I looked down at my navy dress. I looked at her emerald gown. I looked at my son standing on my porch in his good suit with his mother-in-law beside him. And I understood. I did not argue. I did not ask questions. I did not cry or raise my voice or demand an explanation. I just nodded once and stepped back into my house and closed the door. Slowly. Carefully. So it would not make a sound. I stood in the hallway listening to their footsteps fade down the walkway. I heard the car doors open and close. I heard the engine start. I heard them drive away. The house was very quiet after that. I could hear the refrigerator humming. The clock on the wall ticking. My own breathing. I walked back to my bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed, still wearing the dress. I sat there for a long time. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 30. I am not sure. I kept thinking about the phone call. 3 weeks ago. I went over it in my mind, word by word, trying to find where I had misunderstood. He said he made a reservation for Mother's Day. He said the restaurant name. He said he would pick me up at 6. I remembered all of it. I remembered the way my chest had lifted when he said it. The way I smiled into the phone even though he could not see me. But now I realized. He never said the reservation was for me. He just said he made a reservation. And I had filled in the rest myself. 3 weeks of imagining that dinner. What we would talk about. What I would order. Whether he would ask about my life or just his own. I had even practiced in my head what I would say if he asked why I did not come around much anymore. He was never going to ask that. I stood up and unzipped the dress. The zipper stuck halfway down, and I had to twist my arm behind me at an awkward angle to get it loose. I hung it back in the closet behind my winter coats. I put on my regular clothes, the soft pants and the cardigan with the missing button, and I went to the kitchen. I made tea. Not because I wanted tea, just because it gave me something to do with my hands. I sat at the table and drank it slowly, watching the light change outside. The sky went from blue to pink to gray. I did not turn on any lights. I just sat there in the dimness, holding the warm cup, thinking about nothing in particular. I did not cry. Crying felt like it would make the whole thing bigger than it was. It was just a misunderstanding. That is what I told myself. A simple mistake. He was taking his mother-in-law to dinner, because that is what good husbands do. They take care of their wife's family. I should be glad he was thoughtful. But I kept seeing his face. That little tightening around his mouth. That almost smile. Like I had embarrassed myself without realizing it. The phone rang at midnight. I was still awake. I was sitting in the living room with the television on, but the sound turned low. Just blue light and shadows moving across the wall. When the phone lit up, I knew it was Marcus before I looked at the screen. I let it ring 3 times. When I answered, he did not say hello. He just started talking. Fast. Urgent. His words running together the way they do when something has gone very wrong, and he needs me to fix it. He said, Mom, my card was blocked, the restaurant charged it, and something triggered the fraud alert, and now everything is frozen. I need $15,000 in cash tonight. I know it is late, but I do not have anyone else to call. I sat there holding the phone. He kept talking. The dinner cost more than he expected. Extra charges. Nicole's mother ordered wine. Expensive wine. And appetizers. And dessert. He did not want to say no in front of her. The bank would not unlock his account until Monday. He needed the cash now. He had promised Nicole's mother he would help with something else. Some payment. Some bill. His words were tripping over each other. I listened to all of it. I did not interrupt. I just sat there in the dark listening to my son panic. Finally I said, "Why did you tell me about the reservation?" He stopped talking. The line went silent. I could hear him breathing on the other end. I said it again. Slower this time. "Why did you call and tell me about the reservation? If it was not for me." He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "I do not know, Mom. I guess I just wanted to tell you I was excited about it. I thought you would be happy for me." "Happy for you." I said the words out loud, testing them. "Happy for you." Like I was supposed to be proud he took someone else's mother to dinner on Mother's Day. Like it was an achievement I should celebrate. He said, "Mom, please, I really need this money. I will pay you back, I promise. I just need it tonight." I said, "I do not have $15,000 in cash." That was not exactly true. I had money saved. Not a lot, but enough. I had been putting away $50 a month for 32 years. For emergencies. For repairs. For the day I got too old to work and needed something to fall back on. I had never touched it. Not once. But I did not have it in cash. And I did not have it available at midnight. And even if I did. He said, "Can you check? Can you go to the ATM or something, please, Mom? I am in real trouble here." I said, "What kind of trouble?" He hesitated. I heard him thinking, deciding what to tell me. He said, "I promised Nicole's mom I would help with her new condo, the down payment. She was counting on it. That is why we went to dinner tonight to celebrate. She put down a deposit last week. and the rest is due Monday, but now my accounts are frozen. And if I do not come up with the cash, she loses the deposit. It is a lot of money, more than just tonight. But I need to at least cover the dinner, so she does not think I am broke or unreliable. I closed my eyes. The emerald gown, the beaded chest, her hair pinned up like she was going somewhere important. I said, "You are buying her a condo." He said, just helping with the down payment. Nicole really wanted to. Her mom has been renting forever, and this is a chance for her to finally own something. It is important to Nicole. I said, "When is the last time you asked if I needed help with anything?" The words came out before I could stop them. I had not meant to say that. It sounded small, needy. I am not a small person. But it was too late. The words were out there. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "When did you last think about whether I might need something?" He did not answer right away. I said, "I am not asking you to buy me a condo, Marcus. I am just asking when you last thought about it." He said, "You never ask, Mom. You always say you are fine." I said, "I am fine." He said, "Then I do not understand what you are upset about." I wanted to explain. I wanted to tell him that being fine is not the same as not needing anything. That I stopped asking because I got tired of hearing no or later, or let me check with Nicole. That I had been taking care of myself for so long I forgot what it felt like to have someone else think about me first. But I did not say that. I said, "I cannot give you the money tonight." He said, "Mom, please." I said, "Maybe Monday if you still need it." He said, "That is too late. I need it now, Mom. You do not understand. This is serious. Nicole is going to be furious. Her mother is going to think I am irresponsible. This could ruin things with Nicole's family." I stood up. I do not know why. I just needed to be standing. I said, "I have to go, Marcus." He said, "Mom, please do not do this." I said, "Good night." I hung up. My hands were shaking. Not much. Just a small tremor. I put the phone down on the side table and pressed my palms flat against my thighs to make them stop. The house was so quiet I could hear the clock in the kitchen. Tick, tick, tick. I thought about getting my keys. I thought about driving to the ATM. I thought about pulling out whatever the machine would let me take and driving to his house and handing it to him through the car window. I thought about how easy it would be to fix this. To be the mother he needed right then. To prove I was still useful. I walked to the kitchen. I picked up my keys from the counter. I stood there holding them. The metal was cold. I could feel each individual key pressing into my palm. Then I put them back down. I went to bed, but I did not sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling, thinking about all the small moments that had led to this one. The times I said yes when I meant no. The times I smiled at Nicole's mother when she made comments about my furniture being outdated or my cooking being too plain. The times I sat at holiday dinners feeling like a stranger in my own son's life. The phone rang again at 12:45. I did not answer. It rang again at 1. I turned it off. Somewhere around 3 in the morning I got up and went to the closet. I stood there in the dark looking at the navy dress hanging behind my winter coats. I could barely see it. Just the shape of it. I reached out and touched the fabric. It felt cold. I thought about burning it. Just taking it outside and lighting it on fire in the driveway. But that felt too dramatic. Too much like something from a movie. So I just closed the closet door and went back to bed. In the morning there were 6 missed calls. For text messages. All from Marcus. The messages were long and rambling. Half apology, half explanation. He was sorry for calling so late. He should not have assumed I could help on such short notice. He figured it out. He called Nicole's brother. Borrowed the money. Everything was fine now. He did not mention Mother's Day. Not once. I sat at the kitchen table reading the messages. Then I deleted them. I did not do it in anger. I just did it. One by one. Watching each message disappear. Then I made coffee and sat there watching the morning light come through the window. It was Sunday. The neighborhood was quiet. I could hear birds. Someone mowing their lawn 3 houses down. Everything normal. But something had changed. I could feel it. Like a bone that healed wrong. Not broken anymore. Just different. Marcus called a week later. His voice was cheerful. Light. The kind of voice people use when they are pretending everything is normal. He asked how I was. I said fine. He talked about work. Some project. Some difficult client. He laughed at something. I do not remember what. Then I said, "Did you enjoy your dinner?" The line went quiet for just a second. Then he said, "It was nice. Yeah, the food was really good. Nicole's mom loved it." I said, "Good." He said, "Mom, about that night." I said, "You do not need to explain, Marcus." He said, "I should have been clearer about the plans. I did not mean to confuse you." Confuse me? Like I had shown up on the wrong day. Like the problem was my understanding, not his thinking. I said, "You should have been clearer." He was quiet. Then he said, "Are you mad at me?" Was I mad? I did not think so. Anger is hot and sharp. This was colder. Heavier. I said no. He said, "Okay, good, because I really did not mean to hurt your feelings or anything." Or anything. I closed my eyes. We talked for a few more minutes. Then he said he had to go. Nicole was calling about something. He told me to take care of myself. I said I would. After we hung up, I sat there holding the phone, and I realized something. He was never going to understand. Not because he was cruel. Not because he did not care. But because in his mind, he had simply made plans for Mother's Day that happened to include his mother-in-law. In his mind, I had misunderstood something he never actually promised. In his mind, he had called me during an emergency and I had said no. And maybe he was right. Maybe I did misunderstand. Maybe I should have asked more questions when he first called about the reservation. Maybe I should have said yes to the money, should have driven to the ATM at midnight, should have helped him the way mothers are supposed to help their sons. But I keep thinking about the dress. I keep thinking about standing in front of the mirror, smoothing down the navy fabric, checking the seams, wondering if it was too formal or not formal enough. I keep thinking about the 3 weeks I spent imagining that dinner. What we would talk about. How it would feel to sit across from him again like we used to. Just the two of us. The dress is still in my closet. I see it sometimes when I reach for my winter coat. I do not move it. I do not throw it away. I just leave it there hanging in the dark behind everything else. Marcus sends pictures now and then. Nicole's mother at the new condo. Family dinners. Holiday parties. Everyone smiling. He always says I should come next time. I always say maybe. Last week he called to tell me about a promotion at work. A big one. More money. More responsibility. He sounded excited. Happy. I told him. I was proud of him. I meant it. But while he talked, I found myself standing at the closet door, looking at that dress hanging in the back. And I thought about how easy it is to become optional in someone's life. How it happens so gradually, you do not even notice until you are standing in a doorway in a navy dress watching your son drive away with someone else's mother. I wonder sometimes if he remembers that afternoon. If he thinks about the way I was dressed when I opened the door. If he noticed at all. I wonder if it matters. My name is Ruth. I am 61 years old. I tell these stories because there are so many of us sitting in quiet houses with dresses we do not wear anymore. If you stayed this long, maybe you understand. Maybe you have your own closet. Your own navy dress hanging in the dark. The hanger still creaks when I move it.